Welcome back to Woodbine Racing Live. I'm joined with another very special guest here, Natasha Day, trainer-driver, who's done pretty well here since making the move to North America. Obviously, you're from Gold Coast, Australia, and the first question I got to ask is, what's like a major difference in between standardbred racing there and here?
It'd have to definitely be the speed that the horses go here and the racing style. We do a lot more slower halves, and we make moves well and truly before the half. We could be 3 wide at the half and we still manage to come home in pretty good quarters, but here it's just hammer the whole way. So yeah, that's definitely one of the big differences.
Is that where you first got into training and driving, or was it when you made the move over here?
No, my dad trained and drove, and basically I was the only kid out of 7 of us that decided to do the horses. And yeah, he's now retired, but I've kept on going. So.
Okay, so we got to talk about the very special edition of the Mildred Williams International Driving Series. So for you, that was a notable win for sure on Jailhouse Cameron. What was that experience like, driving with all other females?
It was, I loved it. I've done it back home before with all the girls as well. And it was, it was a really cool night. They treated us like royalty there. They did a fantastic job with it, put a new lifetime mark on the horse, and it was kind of the first real exposure that I got to have on the Pocono track of people seeing me out there driving. So.
What is it like with that red clay? Is it as fast as it looks?
I love it. I love it. I wish there was a track up here like it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Absolutely, like the speed on it. It's the worst part of it is cleaning your gear.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So for you, do you have a preference between the mile tracks or 5/8 of a mile, or is it wherever you can really get drives on?
It's wherever I can get drives. You'll adapt to wherever you can go. So, at the moment, I'm doing a lot of the half mile racing, the B tracks. So, but you'll adapt when you get to the mile racing. I've had a few drives down here, but it'd be nice to get some more and a little bit of power. But I still enjoy being down at the half mile tracks as well. It's good fun.
So for you, is there anyone in training that you're particularly fond of, someone that's been training well?
I have my own horse, Sizzlin' Hot Herbie. Yeah, he's been doing really good for me. So I managed to actually just buy him out last week. So yeah, he's now fully mine. I had him leased. And he's been doing super. He picks up a check every start, so I can't complain about him.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, he's good.
We need a couple more of those in the barn for sure.
Yeah.
So for you, if you weren't driving training, what would you be doing? Do you ever think about that, really?
I love race cars, so I would probably do something with that. I love design, building, probably architecture. I was only saying to someone the other day, I wish I could go back to school and do an architecture course. I love building and designing own homes and things like that. So, probably the race cars on the side.
That's amazing. I was going to say, I got that need for speed.
Yeah, I love the speed. Yeah.
That's amazing. So I know you have a drive coming up at Flamber Downs, so I'm not going to keep you here for too long, of course. What was your first, so you mentioned that you had a win on the WEG circuit here.
No, I haven't.
You
I haven't yet. Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about your first career win. Do you remember that one?
Over here in Canada, it was Beachside Bungalow. He was one that I trained. So... I had plenty of winners in Australia. It was no worries at all. But to train one myself here, it was definitely a special moment. So
bittersweet for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
What was that like? Did you win on the front end, or what type of?
No, he got away midfield. I pulled first over. He pulled a lot, that horse. He was very aggressive. I pulled first over, and he just outground them and ran away. So. No, it was a good win, really good win. I think he did about 3 wins in a row then, and he was a handy little horse for me too.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So one quick question is, what advice would you give to females that are looking to break into the racing industry? Is it, of course it's tough and it's a never-ending type of grind, but maybe twist the question a little bit is, what advice would you give to your younger self? What's something that maybe you didn't know early on about racing or making the move here that perhaps you could?
If you're going to do it and move, overseas, do it while you're young. I did it later in life, and it's been tougher. But at the end of the day, I also have a thicker skin now as well, so I could handle it, and I was ready for the challenge and the move. But I think for a younger person, if you really want to do it while you're young and break into it and talk to everyone and get to know everyone and get in wherever you can get in and just basically do whatever you can do. So
that's really good advice.
yeah.
One final question. Did you have any female role models in the sport? Obviously, being in a male-dominated industry, there weren't a lot of females to look up to, but I know you mentioned your dad was a trainer, a very successful one, you said. He was obviously a big role model and a big reason why you got into racing.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of girls back home who drive, a lot of women, a lot of in my age group too, so you know, we all kind of came up together in the sport. A lot of them are now leading drivers. You got the likes of Karen Manning and Kate Gath and Jodie Quinlan, and they are like top
Mm.
drivers. And we were always battling it out in the scale of drivers' premierships amongst the females. So they were always role models because you always wanted to try and beat them. But you know, you had a male you looked up to, yeah. You know, like the Gavin Lanes and people like that. And over here, see, I didn't follow so much of the racing over here. So once I got here and you got to know the likes of Corey Callahan and Yannick and those sorts of guys and Tim Tetrick, you were just like, wow, this is a whole nother calibre. So yeah, it's just nice to be able to drive against them and watch them and see how they present themselves and how they handle themselves.
For sure. I mean, you mentioned the best in the business, of course, and obviously aspiring to be that. And it's very awesome that you mentioned with the females back home is that friendly rivalry, of course, because they motivate you to be better and to be the best version of yourself, for sure.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, we'll let you get back to Flamborough Downs for sure for your drive. Thank you so much to Natasha Day for joining me for this.
Thank you.
Plays of the night.